Welcome to Outside the Bubble, where we at the Launceston Global Shapers Hub help give you an insight into what else is happening in our community and our world while we've all been staying at home. I'm Adam, and today I have with me Jorge from Apoyo Positivo in Spain. Now, your organisation started in response to HIV in Spain. How has that helped you prepare to support the community through COVID?
Well, I think the experience of the HIV response is like a light on the response that we can give to any pandemic around the world, especially COVID, because it was a pandemic that was related with many issues similar to HIV, like stigma to the people that was affected by, or to some communities that were more pointing out of being guilt of this new pandemic. And then it was making many more people most vulnerable because of the crisis and the situation of quarantine, staying at home. Not everybody can stay at home because of their problems. There are a lot of people that is not fixed inside the normative response that the governments and the whole society give. And this is our work since the beginning with the HIV response. Look at the ones that are more invisible and no one left behind. So that was our principle that we learned from the HIV, and that was we were applying during this crisis, to look at the most vulnerable ones, to give a more complete and integral framework response for the whole society, and learn in the way of giving that response. So learning by doing with the HIV is also learning by doing with the COVID.
And obviously, what communities did you see desperately needed that help during that time?
Yeah, there was like a first bunch of people that was more related with mental health problems, with drug use, with sex works, with no any kind of resource or even housing. So those most vulnerable ones that were not fixing this stay-at-home message, because they couldn't stay at home because of the labor work type of society, or the way that they gave the basic resources, or even the mental health, were the ones that were more vulnerable at the beginning of the pandemic, and the ones that we need to look. Because at the end of the day, those situations are going to be bigger and for more people in society if we don't pay attention to them since the beginning.
And I guess, what sort of services were you providing and what help were you giving to the community through these times?
We work on sexual health, sexual rights, and sexuality education normally. So we perform different activities, program, educational one, or health programs. They are quite related with the public health. So we were giving more support on the psychological and social framework and programs during the pandemic, because there was many people that was requesting the psychological support and even the social support for getting those resources that I was saying before, the food and basics. But at the same time, we were guessing when we can start doing the STIs and HIV or sexual testing, because as I said before, sex is not stopping, and it's kind of basic that we need to cover, especially related with all the STIs that are around, the own HIV and other ones. So we are giving sexual health and health programs, and we are improving our psychological department and activities, because I believe, and we believe, that there is more need of psychological support in society right now. And then looking at those ones that are more invisible on or with less resources, to give a more complete response.
And again, just in general, I guess as the final question, how is life in Spain at the moment? We've seen the news, we've seen the stories, but what is it actually like on the streets of Spain at the moment for you?
I would say that we are coming back to the new normality, because it's not going to be the last or the previous normality anymore, and we are being back in this new normality step by step, opening the different phases. But we are coming from a society that was giving a whole response, a common response at the beginning of the pandemic, but along the time of the pandemic was even bigger, being bigger. I think that is like a separation, like a division of the country about what we think on the pandemic and the response that the government did. So there is like a feeling on things are normal, are getting better, but at the same time there is a lot of I don't know, people is guessing what is going to happen, and I feel that people is a little bit flexible and relaxed with the measures that we need to take out of our houses. But I think it's logical after many months without social contact, especially in a country in which we are quite physical in contact. No, so yeah, people is struggling in between what to do, what we can do, what I feel that I want to do because of my cultural background, and guessing what is going to happen because there is no clue about what the situation of the pandemic is gonna be here.
Well, look, thank you so much for joining us today. And look, if anyone wants to find out more about our conversation, make sure you have a look at the Examiner newspaper where you can read more. If this is the first time you've joined us for Outside the Bubble, it's part of a larger series of videos. So please take a look at our Facebook and YouTube accounts to see more. If you want to find out more about the Launceston Global Shapers Hub, just search for us online, or you can find out more about our global community at globalshapers.org. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.